step at a time. A man walked on the moon. One record got played. Cool hooks and bloom. 1 minute, young man, your time comes soon. We waiting. It was prophesized you loom. We bang our drums and the message do sound.
Q-Tip is an American rapper, singer, producer, musician, DJ, and actor from New York City. In the late 80s, he formed a group called Quest with 2 others. In 1988, he got involved in producing some stuff for the Jungle Brothers, and his band became A Tribe Called Quest, which I've heard of. Those 2 groups, Jungle Brothers and Tribe Called Quest, met De La Soul, and the 3 groups became the core of the Native Tongues Collective. Q-Tip got involved in production and formed a production crew called The Ummer. In 1999, he started doing solo work. So he's had so far 6 albums with Tribe Called Quest, 3 solo albums that have been released, and 2 albums that are listed on Wikipedia as TBA, released to be arranged. Hi, my name's Dan, and this is an album of hip-hop music. So, Q-Tip recorded a second album, after his first one, obviously, called Kamal the Abstract, but that wasn't released. He then started working on a third album project called Open, which also was shelved. So, apparently, the tracks for this album are reworked versions of tracks from that project Open. This is my first encounter with him as a musician, and so therefore obviously with this album as well. I've already described this as hip hop. There's music going on, there's beats, there's singing, there's rapping, there's mixed use of both instruments and samples. So it's the full kind of hip hop gamut of stuff that could be here. There's quite a few guests. This is a normal thing for hip hop albums, it seems, including Norah Jones on a track called Life Is Better Now. I know Norah Jones because I've got some of her albums, and she's not, in my mind, a hip hop singer. She's kind of a blues jazz singer. Q-Tip does some instruments on this album, so he plays drums, bass, and keyboards and various tracks. He's also doing the engineering and I think most of the producing and some programming and stuff. And for me, hip hop, particularly rap, the issues that I often have are, well, first of all, it's not my home stamping ground at all in terms of music, but also I'm often quite critical of the subject matter. On this occasion, I don't feel that I am. It's not particularly difficult. It's not gangster. It's mostly introspective. There are points at which it's adult. There's some words in it that I wouldn't use, including the N-word, but not absolutely laced with it. Some of it made me nod my head along. There's some nice beats going on. I think my favourite track is a track called Man Woman Boogie, which has got a really nice groove to it. Some of it made me wince a bit musically. There was some times when it kind of clashed, or you got some kind of micro detuning stuff going on, so things aren't quite in tune, and that always seems to get my goat. So generally I would say I found it quite acceptable as a rap album, not bad, but it's still a rap album. So, and hip hop, I wouldn't say it's exclusively rap because there's a decent amount of singing on here as well, but it's really not my thing. So yeah, it's okay. I wouldn't go seek it out, but I wouldn't say, can you please take that off if it was on? So fine. So that's what I think. Please let me know what you think by typing with your fingers onto your keyboard and into the comments box, in English preferably, so that I can read it. That's it from me for now.
Get out. Make it easy, good guy. Make it easy, good guy. Make it easier now. Get out. Man and woman get down. Good guy, make it easy. Good guy, make it easier now. Get out. Man and woman get down. Man and woman be patrolling the earth, putting shit in the game. Citizens of the world, we running